Hello, dear beings, be it mineral, vegetable, animal, including Homo sapiens, I prefer Neanderthals, and energy entities like we all become. My name is Ferucu Bilic, PhD. Uh, Today I am going to talk about uh, physics, physics psychology. Physics psychology is the quantitative part of psychology. Yes. People trained in psychology never heard of it, but yes, there is a mathematical part of psychology that I repute the only decent part of psychology because you have mathematical proof of the thing works. You have equations and you have statistical test things, and the thing really works. Okay? The soft part of psychology, uh, anyone, one has one idea, another idea, but they fight each other, and then most of them are wrong. Okay, but the mathematical part of psychology, physics psychology, no, is strong proof, even mathematical proof. But is one thing that psychologists doesn't know about. Physics psychology was created by Stevens, and he even wrote a handbook, a very thick handbook, describing all the experiment and laws and tests, quantitative part of psychology in the 60s. And after he dies, nobody else started, continued working with this quantitative part of psychology. I am the last one that deals with physics psychology. Okay. I apply physics psychology in almost everything that I did in the research because I combine the behavior aspect of people based on psychology and other mathematical models. Okay, and let me say some of the ideas of physics psychology. First law of physics psychology. relationship between perception and stimulus, perception P and stimulus S, is a potential for equation. Okay? Therefore, it's P is equal S raised to the power of. And therefore, the relationship between stimulus and response is never linear. Always is exponential or logarithmic. Okay? Like when you see some light, to perceive double the amount of light, the stimulus is much, much bigger than 2. Okay? As a matter of fact, it's 1.6 times 2. If it's pressure is to the square, and if it's listening, also decibels are not twice as noisy as 20 decibels. It is 4 times noisier. Okay? Therefore, the function is always exponential function. Therefore, the relationship between all the stimulus, visual, hearing, taste, smell, touch, are not linear. We think that we are dealing with a linear world. No. Our perceptions related to the stimulus is exponential function. Therefore, to study, like if I ask you, how many minutes do you think I'm talking about the subject? And you say, oh, it is about 7 minutes. I will say, thank you very much. It means that you are loving what I am saying. Okay? Because your perception of time is lower than the real time. Instead, if you said, no, it was about 15 minutes, then I will say, boy, I have to improve my talking because I am not pleasing you. Okay? Because the real time is about 9 minutes, and your perception is that it's boring, it's taking longer. You understand? Therefore, all the everything that we have in life, our perception are different, and they can be manipulated also. Okay, like when you get into a building, you get the elevator, and you are being fooled twice, at least. When you enter the elevator, you see, oh, there is a mirror, and while the elevator is moving, you see yourself in the mirror, what you feel everything okay, and you are at this moment you are being fooled twice. One, the elevator is a little cubicle, and the mirror is there for you to think that the place is twice as big. No, it's a very small place. It's claustrophobic. You put a mirror so that you think that it's twice as big the place. Okay, and also you are looking yourself in the mirror. You don't realize that the travel in the elevator takes forever. And therefore, your perception of the travel time is being fooled by you watching yourself in the mirror and not perceiving that the ride in the elevator is taking forever. Okay? Therefore, psychophysics is very useful. All the aspect of marketing are without psychophysics is almost nothing. When you apply psychophysics to marketing, then you know what you are doing. Okay? You can measure which media is better appreciated for how much time you should present the propaganda. You don't need to present it continuously. And as a matter of fact, if you present too much of a propaganda, you get the opposite effect. Instead of people start liking the product you want to sell, they start hating it. Therefore, there is a good balance. But everything has to be measured. Yeah? Travel time has to be measured. Perception of comfort, if the chair is comfortable, has to be measured. And how rich you think you are also has to be measured. Everything has to be measured because the real amount of money that you have doesn't have much to do with your perception of how rich you are, okay, and how wealthy you are, how comfortable you are. For psychophysics is the key to help to understand all this subject. But is a science that is close to dying. Okay? When Stevens died, the research in the subject almost stopped. I'm continuing making some application, but not much. And when I am gone, not even this. Therefore, psychophysics will be dead. if no one that is listening now takes the subject to study and the research, and this interesting part of psychology, that's the quantitative part of psychology, will be lost. Huh? And only the less noble, less useful, less part of psychology will remain. That change with the wind. Everyone thinks that he has some idea. Freud had some ideas, then Carl Jung, refute most of them, and all of them were partial. Not only this, they were very imprecise. When came physics, psychology, then we start measuring things, and we had more precision in the application of the laws and things like that. And the application were more successful. Of course, yes, you have to do some math, but not that very complicated. Like nowadays, psychology wants to be more quantitative, and they, especially in PhD dissertation, they try to use SEM, structure equation modeling. Okay, but the problem that psychologists doesn't know how to use this modeling, and therefore the statisticians are the ones that are running the model, and the psychologists are not interpreting it properly. Because they don't even know what to ask for. But there is very big potential for it. Like I saw a presentation, a guy from South Africa made a PhD dissertation using SEM, structure equation modeling, in determining the characteristics of God. Became a very interesting work. Okay. Of course, these characteristics depend on the culture where you are applying the questionnaire and asking for information. Okay. But was very interesting, the conclusions. Yeah, therefore, they are very good, a very interesting thing to do with mathematical modeling in psychology. And this area is called physics psychology. Okay? Therefore, please don't let physics psychology die. Start being interested also in this. Apply it. It's very useful to understand and to solve problems. As a matter of fact, all the problems where you have people should have physics psychology applied to it. Okay? There are plenty of other things. I could start telling all the experience, all the application that I meet with this stuff, but we'll take several other videos to do this. And if you are interested, you will show in your comments, and then I will make some other videos more specific to answer your question. Okay? Please do give your like. I would appreciate if you can make your critiques and comments and suggestions. And if you share these ideas with other people, so that this idea of physics psychology that doesn't die. And you can, I will appreciate if you make an inscription to my channel to receive new material every time, because I will try always to bring you some interesting ideas for you to enjoy. Thank you very much for your attention.